All right, we're back out here in our trails in Utah that we just love. It's one of our favorite spots. We're back at the spot where, what was his name? Fred, we called him. There's an elk here. Came across. This is our mid-summer ride, and kind of the hottest part of the summer. We tend not to ride as much, and it's not that bad. I mean, it's dustier for sure, but still fun. We just gap out a little bit. We love this place. So today we're going to talk about trail bikes. We got a KTM 300 XCW. We got a and this is a 17 KTM 300 XCW. 16 KX450, 2011, 12, 11 CRF 250R. That's got a 270 kit. It's one of my older bikes that Joe bought, and he's had it at least 2 years at least. We rebuilt it this last year just to make sure everything's safe. He's got like 100 hours in that thing, right? And then so we rebuilt it this past spring, put new piston and valves in it. So rebuilt that thing so it's good and fresh. So got 3 bikes. Only one of them is a purpose-built trail bike, is the KTM. Okay, so let's talk about the other 2 first. So the Honda, that's what we trail rode for years, and it's been at least 2 years since I've trail rode a 4-stroke, and so I kind of forgot. There's some cool things about it, but overall, I'm still 2-stroke guy here on the trails. But the 4-stroke, I like how you have that raw, so that part feels fun. What doesn't feel fun is a Kickstarter. So kickstarting that Honda, just not that great. But the suspension's awesome on those bikes. And so it's an inexpensive option for a lot of guys to convert their motocross bike into a trail bike. Not everyone can afford to go buy a 17 and up KTM. Again, you have to be 17 and up. So with that Honda, that bike, you can find those things from $2,000 to $3,000, rebuild them, fix them up, and make a good trail bike. Plenty good trail bike. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with that bike. That's what I trail rode for 4 or 5 years after riding X's. We would ride those because they're a little bit more aggressive than riding a 250X. The advantage of the 250X is you got electric start. This bike's a little bit more aggressive, stronger motor, fuel injected, so you don't have to be jetting it like you would an X. So no, you don't have to worry about jetting. And with that 270 kit in there and the hot cams, the thing runs really good. KX450. Now, I've always been a proponent of no 450s. The 450's not that bad. Now, one thing I'll say for slower guys, in the tight stuff, like especially really tight, it's just too much bike. So if you're in first, second gear stuff, it's way too much bike. This one doesn't have the big tank yet like the Honda does. So if you're going to be serious about it, you'd want to put a big tank on it. We already, my buddy here put a 18-inch rear wheel on it. He got one of those pretty cheap, I think, from Tusk. And then a Dunlop Trials tire. Now that's a great, Trials tire are great for trail riding. So now that helps a lot. Got some hand guards. Now this thing is somewhat trail worthy, but you can see it's still missing a kickstand. The Honda, we added a kickstand years ago. The KX, you have to use these old school kickstands. These things are less than desirable for kickstands, and you can see if you want to trail ride a lot, having a kickstand is kind of nice. I never thought I'd be a kickstand guy because I'm a moto guy. Okay, so now we come to this bike. Okay, so first of all, on the KX450, I really enjoyed it on the roads and the more open stuff. I could see how somebody's riding more open riding, desert, more open riding, and just doing a little bit of tight trails. It's not bad converting a 450. And this bike is a 16. Obviously, it's fuel injected. The air forks are just terrible on these bikes, so adjusting these things, there's infinite adjustments. There's so much adjustments, you'll just go crazy. So it's just too much adjustment. That's a real downside to this bike on the Cowie 450. So if you're gonna do a 450 trail bike, I would try to find one with dual spring forks, or at least even the single side spring forks. I'm not sure what year you have to go back to in a Kicks 450 to do that, but I probably would shy away from air forks on a trail bike if you're gonna convert one. So Honda, between those two, I would choose the Honda because of the tighter trails, doesn't feel as big and heavy, and I'm not doing as much wide open desert stuff. If I was out more big wide open desert stuff, the 450 is not so bad. But between the 3 bikes, the obvious winner is the KTM. I still prefer the XC model, not the XCW. This is a buddy of mine's bike who was kind enough to loan it to us while we're up here in Utah without some bikes. We're waiting on 19s, and we're jet skiing and doing other stuff. So this bike doesn't have the forks that we like, but they're not terrible for trail riding, but they're not as good as the XC forks, the AER48 forks. And it's a PDS bike. On the trails, I don't think there's any huge downside to the PDS. Guys in the track and stuff don't like the PDS bike as much. But I think the bigger situation is the forks just don't feel as good as the other forks. The tranny on the XCW can feel a little bit funny. And this bike, the jetting's not perfect. We need to get the jetting a little better. Gonna help them with that because we're like at 8,000 feet right now or something. We're like at 8,000 or 9,000 feet. We're real high. So the jetting could be a little bit better, but that could be fixed. So this thing just has basic mods with the FMF, a pipe and silencer on there, a trials tire, and they already come with an 18-inch wood. They come with a kickstand. They come with a lot of trail-worthy stuff, a decent-sized tank. Not an oversized, but they're a decent-sized XCW tank. More than enough fuel for most small trail rides under, 50, 60 miles. You're going to be fine with that tank. On slow stuff, anyway. You'd be fine. You're not going to burn up your fuel. So, 2 good motocross bikes converted. And, again, I lean towards the Honda for tight stuff. KX450. I've always kind of gone, why do guys do that? The biggest reason is it's hard to find a good deal on a used, good 17 and up KTM 250 or 350. And the reason for that is the new bikes are really good. They don't vibrate. They have a counterbalancer in the engine. The bikes are just smooth and easy to ride. The older KTMs, 300s, from say 16 and back, the electric start was kind of an add-on. It was meant to be a restarter, not a full-on electric start. So you're supposed to kickstart it in the morning, and then you can use the electric start. The electric start would, you have to rebuild it every year or two. And whoa, hold on, we got a bike falling. That's our kickstand's failing. All right, so let's finish up our video. But anyway, Spencer's gonna hold the bike for us. Real fun time out here in Utah. You can't go wrong. As long as I realize even if you don't have the best bike, you're still riding dirt bikes, and so it's still a blast to ride. We've had a good time out here riding. So I don't think it really matters as long as you're riding. So converting a motocross bike will save you money in many cases, but if you're going to be committed to this for a while, you're going to be committed to trail riding, then I would look for a purpose-built 17 and up KTM or Husqvarna, and I think you'll be in great shape. So either way, hopefully you're out riding some trails and having fun.